So Outlaw King, which is Netflix production with certain cinema releases, story of Robert the Bruce, 14th century. Robert the Bruce agreeing to serve under Edward, but the subservience is obviously going to be short-lived. Directed by David Mackenzie. And David Mackenzie directed Starred Up and Hell or High Water, and is a very fine director, starring Chris Pine in what has been referred to in all the tabloids as a revealing performance. James Cosmo, Stephen Delane, and Florence Pugh, who I think is absolutely terrific. He is Robert at the beginning. He's apparently agreeing to a subservient truce, but of course that isn't going to last, because what he's attempting to do is to amass support for his cause. Here's a clip.
I confess I was surprised to receive your letter. I do urgently desire to discuss with you a matter most delicate. It's a bit cryptic, wouldn't you say?
It was intentional.
I see. And if I were to infer that your aim was in fact to reignite a rebellion? We already tried it for 8 bloody years, and we failed.
Because we didn't unite?
No, because your family were too busy trying to claim a crown that wasn't theirs. Are you saying you wish to relinquish that claim?
I'm saying we need to set aside our rivalry and win back our country. Then we can decide who wears the crown. Us. Not Edward. John, between us, we could raise 20,000 men. We could have a fighting chance.
It'll never work. The people are tired of war and suffering.
Wallace was tortured and slaughtered. The people aren't tired. They are desperate for justice.
Wallace got what he deserved. He wasn't a man, he was an idea.
So it's an odd film. On the one hand, you can see it as a sort of a pickup from Braveheart. As we hear the Wallace stuff, and I think the accents are fine. I didn't have a problem with them, which everyone always sort of imagines that you're going to. And I think there are some very good performances, not least Florence Pugh as Elizabeth, she was the real standout in that film, Lady Macbeth, which I absolutely loved. And she has the same sort of forceful power in what a kind of politicised romance that goes on between the two central characters, this kind of thread that runs through. And I think what she does is she makes that part her own, and she brings something to it that really does broaden the drama out. James Cosmo is in stalwart form as Robert's father, and it's shot by Barry Ackroyd, who of course is an absolutely brilliant cinematographer. And so there is an argument.
Isn't he Paul Greengrass?
Paul Greengrass's preferred cinematographer of choice. And so when you have all that, you do think, okay, well, in that case, there is an argument definitely for going and seeing it in the cinema rather than seeing it on the small screen, because, that way you get to appreciate it. So here's my problem, okay? I think that David Mackenzie is a really good filmmaker. And I think that what this doesn't do is this doesn't have the kind of the ludicrous bombast of Braveheart, which I never liked. I know other people did, but I never liked it. And so on that thing, I think, okay, fine, that's good, because it doesn't have that, that bombastic, slightly ludicrous, or not slightly ludicrous thing that's going on in Braveheart. But what it also doesn't have is the dramatic spark, because I'm spending a lot of time watching it thinking, why am I not being more emotionally gripped by this? Why is this not working for me when I've got huge, great sweeping vistas and battle scenes in which you're sort of right in the middle of it, and a number of performances which are well handled and well done. And it's odd, because despite the fact that individual elements of the film would seem to make you think, okay, this should add up to something more. It was, what's that phrase? The whole is less than the sum of its parts. When you break it down individually, the individual elements seem to be strong, but when you put them all together, I did find it, and I'm sorry to say this, I found it a bit of a slog. And part of me is thinking, is it me or is it the film? Do I need to see it? Because I saw it on a small screen. Do I need to see it on a big screen? And maybe that would be the thing that would make the difference. But I don't know. I think it's for something which is so laden with drama, I found it oddly undramatic. And certainly in terms of the director's previous works, all of which have had, they're stories about maleness in crisis, of which this is another one to some extent. But what it never had was that thing which got under my skin. I watched it without ever being in it.